Hello everyone, this is Jared Miller. I was just going to show you guys one of the ways that I like to tie my nunchucks together using paracord. Naturally, there are dozens of different ways you can tie your knots for these things, but this is one that I've been always shown and I've always kind of liked, so I figured I'd share it with you really quick. Okay, so your basic premise is what you're going to want to do is you're going to have your string running through all the way through, so you have one end on each side for this. Okay, and then what you do, for me, what I like to do is fit it to the back of my hand. So for the purposes here, I'll leave it a little bit longer just so you can kind of see. But that's normally what I'll do is fit it to the back of my hand right there so it's kind of snug or even a little bit loose. Of course, you can go shorter, you can go longer, kind of depending on what you want to do. So, but basically what you'll do is you'll take each end and fold them across, kind of like that. So it looks kind of like you almost have three strands, so to speak, right here. What you'll do is get them kind of close together, and you'll take closer to one end, take one of the loose ends, and just grip the whole bundle of cord, and just wrap all the way around it, and tie a simple knot on itself. So it has to be this same cord that I'm wrapping around here. You tie just a basic end over end. Not like this, so it doesn't really matter what way you're going, but you're going to tie just a basic end over end, not like that. So just around and through, and I'll show you kind of how to adjust it here in a sec. So this is going to be really long at first. Well, it might not be terribly long. So kind of snug that down and just leave it just like that, and that's the first one. So then you take the opposite side and do the same thing, and you're going to want to do that close, or you can do it a little bit further, because that way it'll kind of help you center it. So do the same thing with the other side around the bundle of cords here. And so this one is a little shorter because I'm cutting it tighter, but again, to just do the same thing, just wrap it around the whole thing. It has to be the same cord that you're wrapping. Tie a knot on itself. Tie it snug, and you're good. Okay, so that's basically that. And then how you get them to draw together is you can actually pull it, and as you see, they came snug together and they're nice and tight. Now you can kind of change the directions. To me, it really doesn't matter. I've never had a problem with it. You can change the directions, like which one, if you do one right over left and the other one left over right, so to speak, or under, and then one side over, you can change the directions, but to me it really doesn't matter. It doesn't really seem to bother my hands much. The cord is soft enough, you don't seem to notice, but and then so from there, as you see, it came out to be really, really long. And so what you'll do if you want to shorten it, to get it to loosen up anyway, if you ever want to adjust, is you take these knots and you pull them together, or pull them apart, which can be kind of hard. Naturally, after you've been spinning, you're having a lot of force going this way with this, so pulling these apart can be kind of hard at first. But so you'll take them and pull them apart, just like that. You take either one, either way, to adjust them. So to adjust them, to make them shorter, you're gonna untie this knot and pull more on the end that's sticking out. You're gonna pull out that way, so that takes up some of the slack. And so what you can even do there is, since I pulled it apart, is just snug that up even closer and tie the knot even closer to where the side that I slid the knot down to. I went over a little bit there. And see now how I've gotten a much longer strand there than I had before. As you can see, we've gotten a little bit closer to my hand size. So now I'll do the other side. So again, I'll pull these apart and undo this one. And then I'm just gonna move that knot down to here, again, like I did with the last one. So we're just gonna move it down. And that part will naturally just use up your excess, so that'll shorten it kind of in the process of doing it. And just make sure again that you're getting as much of that slack out, so that the knot should come down pretty much right where they meet. Just pull it snug to get all that extra out of there. And we're still closer. And it's gonna take a few times. So again, pull them apart. Pull them apart even farther this time, just to take a good chunk out. So now I'm gonna go back to this side. Now you can do these in smaller increments, so that way if you're a nitpick, you can make the knot more even in the middle when you're done with it. But you really won't notice too much of a problem if you have it off to one side or the other. It really won't matter. Okay, so now you can see that after having done that, again, that this one is considerably longer, and now this is much shorter, much more snug to my hand than it was before. As you can see, it's kind of getting there. So again, if you wanted to be nitpicky, but basically I'm not going to get it all the way down, so I'm just kind of showing you the principles there. And then as you can see, it's a pretty sturdy knot. It's not going to slip or slide. One thing that might happen is once you cut these short, because naturally you're going to cut these down to kind of eliminate your loose ends. Once you cut these short, sometimes at first, especially when they're new and they're kind of slippery like the way paracord is, it might slide a little bit at first. So one thing that I like to do is cut it kind of short and then burn the ends down here when you've done it. Just be very careful not to burn yourself, but just cut it and then melt it and then kind of make a big nub with your wax right there, or with the melted plastic, I guess, and the plastic or the nylon. And that way when it slides, that knot or that little plug should get stuck in there. So but a lot of times if you get these knots down tight enough and you just pull real snug on these, pull real snug, a lot of time that'll be just what you need. So let me show you. Okay, so I'm just using these scissors, and these are the world's worst scissors, by the way, so kind of bear with me here. But what I would do is just cut really close to the end. And paracord is durable, so these terrible scissors don't cut very well. And then from there, and you could even cut it down shorter if you want to get closer, but I like to leave a little bit so that way, again, if it does slide, you're not losing a lot by having to adjust it more, because then each time you lose some, you have to shorten it every time because you need a little bit of slack for just your fingers to work with. So, but you'll do that for both sides. And again, since I'm not worried about this adjustment, these are actually kind of busted. As you can see, I don't really use these ones. These are an old homemade pair, just some PVC pipes. Just using these for the demonstration. Terrible scissors. And then, so like I said, you'll just basically, you can burn these ends down very carefully. Naturally, don't burn yourself because the boiling plastic will burn the crap out of your fingers. So just gently, burn the edges with a lighter, and then kind of lightly pinch at it very quickly, and just, again, don't get burned. Don't hurt yourself. And that'll kind of smooth up these and make them look smooth. And then once you're done, again, if you want to nitpick, you can kind of adjust based on how much you're adjusting each side. When you adjust for your hand, you can adjust where this is at in the middle. So if you want to be a nitpick and get it right in the middle, you can. But other than that, that's kind of what it'll end up being. So pretty simple as far as that one goes.